29th in the entire league last year. That was Packers' best on their roster. All right, let's move on to a little Matt LaFleur talk here. There's another analytic metric, whatever you want to call it. Football Insights put out. Interesting seeing Matt LaFleur pull back on fourth downs after being one of the more aggressive head coaches in recent years. And what it's shown here, guys, is how many times, how often the Packers go for it when they should on fourth down. Okay. And you'll see here by the year, huge drop off where we drop down around the 30 mark. Now, I think, what was it we came up with the other day? We did an exercise on this on the show. Just 28 or 29 times we went for it on fourth down. And you guys remember, I didn't have a problem with when he chose to do it, which explains why going into that exercise, I was expecting to go, man, we were reckless on fourth down last year. Because the emotion of watching the game live and going into the post-game shows that we do right here on the channel immediately following the games and all those things, it's the memory from last year was just overly emotional that we were just too aggressive. And in reality, you step back just like we did last year. We looked at the fourth down rate in which we went for it on fourth down. It was through the roof, and that's probably why I still had that sour taste in my mouth. And we look at the numbers this year, and we actually were fairly conservative on fourth down. You guys know how I feel about that. I'd rather play the field position game, pick up that invisible yardage rather than turn the ball over, give a team a short field. Especially with the way your defense is playing now and the way you were forcing turnovers last year. That's probably another reason why Matt LaFleur felt that way. We were not creating we were like second or third worst in interceptions or takeaways the year before, I believe, under Barry. And then this year we jumped to whatever it was, second or third best in takeaways under Jeff Hafley. I guarantee you a quarter of the way through the season, Matt LaFleur seeing that turnover differential and going, okay, all right, we're taking the ball away. Let's not be as aggressive as we have here in the past. So I just thought that little metric there on Matt LaFleur was interesting because, again, when we look at it the other day, we just give you the total number we talked about. We specifically showed you guys the plays that we went for it when we were losing, right? And we were way more effective, way more, what am I trying to say, successful at converting on fourth down when we had a lead as opposed to trailing. It seemed like we were a lot worse there. So, trying to see here in the chat real quick and see what everybody's talking about. Coach Lynn in the chat said, if I were Golden, I would ask the wide receiver coach for all the practice film of Devontae Adams' release package. That's the thing too, Coach. And I know these are just workout videos and stuff, but we're not talking about AFAM's Tybo videos. We're talking about the receivers working out together in Florida, I believe it was. If you go back and watch those, and again, I know nobody's covering them and it's all designed to be glamorous and everything, but watch Jaden Reed's feet. He has some amazing footwork. Now it's just, does he truly understand the nuance of creating separations? Like Coach Lynn said with the release package, right? What he means by that is getting separation off the line of scrimmage. If they're playing bump and run, being able to work inside out or outside in to create that free release, right? Or it could be that they're playing a little soft, they're playing off, and that's a part of the release as well, right? Your first couple steps to set them up so you can make your move, even if it's on a go, just a subtle jab outside to get inside leverage to run a fade and bend it back out. Or if you're looking to run a climb route, just a subtle jab step in, work out, and then make your break to run that climb route, that crosser, all those things. That's really what's missing from Jaden Reed. Now, the drops were a bit of an issue last year. You guys know how I feel watching the tape. It's not near as bad as some people were making it out to be. Dontavion Wicks, different story. Really, really bad drops from Tay Wicks last year. But if you can get Jaden Reed's release package and his route running, it ain't got to take a huge step, but just a slight improvement. Imagine how good that guy's going to be. Because he can attack the football. He's pretty darn good with contested catches. Jaden Reed, if you were to say, okay, what is it he does really well? It's definitely yak. And along with that yak, it's Matt LaFleur helping them create separation, right? He's scheming guys open pretty darn good as well. So let's see here. 2-0 for this says, can you imagine if we use Tucker Kraft on jet sweeps that Matt loves so much? It'd be so hard to stop. We did that. You guys correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I think we did that with Musgrave when he was healthy as well. Now, Musgrave, I don't know why it feels like Musgrave should be is faster than Tucker Kraft, but I could be completely wrong there. Tucker Kraft had an amazing RAS. Somebody look that up. Let me know um, who had the faster 40 time. Was it Tucker Kraft or Luke Musgrave? Not that it matters. You're probably splitting hairs to that point, but I'd like to see who is the quicker of the two, because I kind of felt like it was Musgrave coming out in the draft, but it may have actually been Tucker Kraft. So let's see. 2-0 for this is Kraft, not Musgrave in all caps. Yeah, for me with Tucker Kraft, his hands are so damn good though, man. You know, to me, it doesn't take a whole lot of talent to take a handoff. So I would rather take the player that's less effective with yak, because, you know, the big part of yak is being fearless and catching the ball and turning up field. To me, Luke Musgrave has a little bit of timidness there. So I would much rather have Tucker Kraft in the route because of his hands. I mean, he didn't have a single drop his rookie year. And I think last year he only had 1 or 2 drops, if I remember correctly. So, you know, that's one of those things that I think I would rather have. I'd rather have Musgrave on the jet sweeps and Tucker Kraft in the route. But I understand what you mean there too. 2-0 for this. A full head of steam for Tucker Kraft running people over. That's a lot of fun to think about as well. Thank you for looking that up, Bates. Bates said Tucker Kraft ran a 4.69 40. Luke Musgrave ran a 4.61. So I was right there. That's what I was thinking, that Musgrave was a little bit quicker. But again, that's 40 time, right? That's running a straight line from a 3-point stance in your underwear. Football speed's a whole different ballgame. And I think we would all agree, Luke Musgrave, when he got on the field, he was a little bit off balance. He didn't play with very good body control. Tucker Kraft's quite the opposite. You see that diving catch in the end zone and other plays that he made, obviously hurdling people and breaking the first tackle and all that. So, yeah, it's going to be cool to see, like Prince says here, Tucker Kraft and Musgrave will be nice to have healthy at the same time. Man, it's the sky's the limit there. And, you know, I know people talking 12 personnel. We've shown you the ratio. It may increase a little bit, but I truly believe that Matt LaFleur wants to stay in 11 as much as possible. However, if you go to 12 and put Musgrave flexed out wide, now you've got their base defense out there. They got to choose to put a linebacker or a safety trying to cover Musgrave as a split wide receiver. Man, game on, you know, game on. So, again, there's just a quick reference. Matt LaFleur was more conservative, almost as conservative as he was his first year with the Packers in 2019. So he got really aggressive while Rodgers was here, obviously. Rodgers loved going for it on 4th down. And then you've basically seen a decline every year since Rodgers left. In 2023, when Jordan Love took over, you went from going for it on 4th down, what appears to be about 63 times, it looks like, down to 59 times in 2023 for 22 to 23. So you drop roughly 5 or 6 times. Now, extra possessions can play a role in that. We all know that. But then you go last year all the way down to whatever it was, 28 or 29. And some of that could have been Jordan Love being hurt and Matt LaFleur going, he's just he's not, you know, at the top of his game right now because of the injuries he's dealing with. Let's go ahead and punt this thing away. So going to be really, really interesting.